Hi, this is Zach here with the bulletin board heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Sunday, the 28th of September. Starting off with the S&P, which actually finished the week on a decent note, over and above, being up nearly 0.6% and over and above. The RSI bouncing above that uptrend line in place since way back in April. That's a decent signal, a decent continuation signal. Even better, though, is the gap close buy signal that we had. So we gapped down on Thursday, then closed the gap and actually closed above the top of the gap there, left from Wednesday. So closing above around 66.20, 21 in fact. Above that level, looking for the top of the channel there from back in April, as high as 68.50 is the best case scenario target for the end of October. On the downside, hoping that we'll stay above mid-September support around 66.50. Worst case, if we have a rug pull down to the floor of the channel in the 50-day moving average 64.59, but not expecting that, especially in the wake of Friday's price action. If you look, you can see that was a decent bit of price action to end the week. Moving along to the Nasdaq, which was not quite as exciting as the S&P, but still we had a decent bounce after Friday's bounce, and also a bounce above the old support there around 24,000 on the right side of 24,000 and the right side of the floor of the channel there at just under that level, looking for the top of the channel as high as 25,400 by the end of next month. Best case scenario target up to 26,200 by the end of October, which is a January resistance line projection. Moving along to the stocks, and quite a few decent ones. The first one is Applied Therapeutics, and here basically a massive U-shape, looks like a massive U-shaped turnaround after the island gap that we had from September to November last year. Rising trend channel base, the best guesstimate of where the top of the channel is up to $2, and ideally we're looking for this stock to stay above $1 to get to $2 by the end of next month. The real sizzle, I suppose, is the way that the market or the stock actually closed above the 200-day line on Friday, and then powered ahead of it without even touching it on Thursday, and powered ahead on Friday. So massive move there. Final piece of the jigsaw would be that we got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising into a golden cross, and that would accelerate the move back up towards the $2 area. You can see the old price chat with the old gap floor there around just below $2.50. So that is also a potential target as a best case scenario. But at the moment, hoping that above $1, looking for $2 on Applied Therapeutics. Stock which we covered a few days ago is Aqua Metals, and here we hit the first target there, the top of that rising trend channel base, $7.20. We're now looking for the upper parallel of that, which is up to $11, hopefully by the end of next month. And ideally, nice little sort of trading setup here. We stay above Wednesday's resistance at 604. So while there's no end of day close back below that, looking for up to $11 on Aqua Metals, backed up by three RSI 50 rebounds, so two at or near that level, and then the last one at the end of the week well above the RSI 50 level, and enjoying the way that the 50-day line is also rising. On to a situation which maybe not quite as exciting as that, but Applied DNA is looking decent as well. Here we've got a rising trend channel base, managed to close and puncture that 50-day line there around $3.70, and above that, looking at the top of the rising trend channel as high as $7.50 by the end of October. So we are quite bullish about this, given the way there's been such an easy break of that 50-day moving average. Next up is a stock we've already also looked at in the recent past, which is American Rebel. And here you can see that we've got a nice setup in the sense that a nice little bull flag. Just breaking that bull flag towards the end of the week around $1.30, and above that looking for $1.80 by the end of October. RSI 50 plus rebound, and also the 50-day line starting to go flat, perhaps even starting to rise. A recent stock request comes in the form of BitMine, and here you will see that we've had decent progress. We're hoping that the market would stay above that 50-day line, and it has just about. Rising 50-day moving average. The only missing ingredient in terms of a new leg to the upside now is an RSI 50 plus handle, but just below that at the end of the week. If we can do that, then one would be looking for the low 60s over the next week or two. But the key here is not to see an end of day close back below that 50-day moving average at 47.07. Darkiris has been called up here but partly on the name and partly on the price channel. The name sounds quite interesting. Here you can see that we've managed to break through our initial target, 11.40. Above that, looking for up to $16 plus by the end of next month, especially while we remain on the right side of the $10 level. Next on the list is a stock which we have also covered before, so that's good news. Lots of repeats means the charting is working. Broadening triangle base there up to $1.30 there for Datavault. We call close back below it, but at least while we're above the 200-day line at 91 cents, looking for a retest of 130 plus. Best case scenario would be up to $2 by the end of next month, which is the upper parallel of that broadening triangle base that we've got on the Datavault chart. Next on the list is Dragonfly, and here you can see that we've got a broadening, rather a rising trend channel base. Top of the trend channel there up to $80, which is what we're looking for by the end of next month. While we remain above the floor of the gap, rather the top of the gap there at 45 cents, and old resistance at the same level. So while there's no end of day close back below 45 cents, looking for 80 cents by the end of next month. New situation to look at is Fractyl, and apart from the poetic name, we've got a break of the 50-day line again, which is a bear trap island reversal, so gapping down to new lows and then gapping up, suggesting that the bears are being caught off guard. $1.21, the level of the 50-day line. Above that, looking at the top of the channel there, as high as $1.84 by the end of October. Another requested stock here, and here it's Nexxen International. Here we've had a bear trap effect here below the $9 level, and while we're above $9 and above the floor of the channel there at $9, looking for at least a move back into the $10 to $11 range by the end of next month. Be cautious, you'll wait for an end of day close above the 200-day line there at $9.73, as well as an end of day close for the RSI back above neutral 50, where we failed a few times in the recent past. So that is something that needs to be sorted out, I think, before we assume that we're on our way to the upside, and a best case scenario target up to $12 over the next month or two. On to the last two. The first one is Ovid, and it looks like a spectacular situation. We've hit the first target we had at $1.50. The upper parallel of that rising trend channel from March is up to $2.20, which is what we're looking for by the end of next month or even sooner. And assuming that we will now not settle below the $1.50 area, which was basically post-November 2024 resistance for the shares. Finishing off with the positively named top KingWin, and here you can see that we've got this rising trend channel base. Top of the channel there, heading for the $7.25 level, which we're looking for by the end of next month. We're also quite optimistic, given the way that we had a gap down to new lows, and we've gapped up now, so it's a bear trap island reversal effect. So $7.20 while we're above resistance on the way down around the $4.20 level. That's it from me today. More updates over the course of the week.